joining us. I would like to introduce our next session, which is titled How a Comprehensive Next-Gen Machine Identity Platform Simplifies Security and Operations. Our session speaker today is Akshay Mathur. Akshay currently serves as the Global Technology Advocate for the PKI Business Unit at AppViewX. As part of this role, he works in close collaboration with various customers and partners worldwide on their machine identity management initiatives. His 2 decades experience spans both technical as well as the business sides and in various domains, including PKI, Wi-Fi security, social networking, online retail, cloud applications, and application delivery in the Kubernetes environment. He is a startup enthusiast and has been founding team member of multiple companies. Please welcome Akshay Mathur. Thank you.
About 30 years back, I was watching a movie. It was a science fiction. And it was talking about a time when there are a number of machines more than number of humans. And at that time, I thought, nah, it will not happen in my lifetime. But time proved me wrong. As of today, we have many more machines than the number of humans. I am Akshay Mathur, and we are talking machine identity management today. The kind of machines we are talking is like the phones we all have. We all have a laptop, a phone, a smartwatch. Our homes are smart. We have smart TVs, so many gadgets. And that's how number of machines are more. And because of this recent pandemic, more and more people started working from home. They came online. They purchased more and more devices. So there is a blast in the number of devices they are there. And as there are so many devices, they need to be managed. And they are managed using some identity. That's their identification. So identities can be of multiple types. One, it may be a simple serial number, and that is typically maintained in the inventory. So that serial number is an identity, but it is just or mostly for the inventory management. But when the device is on a network and talking to other device, at that time, identification of that machine is even more important, because at that time, somebody else can impersonate as a device and do some malicious as well. The identity that is used during the communication, that is typically in form of digital certificates. So what we are going to talk about here is the digital certificate type of identities of the machines. So as we have talked about, the machines have exploded, means the number of machines have exploded. We have so many machines, so we have so many identities, and they are communicating to each other. So while it is good that sitting at a place, we get all the information, we can talk to each other, get connected, but the same place, at the same time, the malicious people can hijack those devices, enter into that, steal our data, cause some outage. And that also we have seen over the time has increasing. There are compromises, there are data breaches. So what is the need? The need is to balance. While the number of machines are growing, the management of machines and their identities and the privacy, that has to be maintained well, that has to be managed well. There must be a balance. So let's see how this can happen. So traditionally, in the legacy systems, typically the number of machines were less, and the people who need to manage, typically the IT team, they were just using either the manual ways or they were using point products. So point products meaning a product that manages just one portion of it, one area. But in the modern time, the requirements that came in is agility, efficiency. And as the network, the internet is growing, there are so many environments where things are deployed, and that needs to be managed well. So having these requirements, these are the functional requirements. These are the requirements that teams, the IT team need to have. But to fulfill those requirements, what IT teams need is a comprehensive solution that is centrally managed, and they can have granular access control, have full automation, so that they can scale their operations and support their users. So let's see how machine identities in a typical enterprise environment, how it was earlier. And then after that, we will talk about how it should be, how with the good machine identity platform. So first, let's look at how it is happening, or how it used to happen at least. In a typical enterprise, in the IT department, if we see, there are so many types of devices, you can say. So there may be some load balancers, some firewalls, servers, and applications. They are deployed, their applications are running, servers are running, and each of them require one or more digital certificates. But at the same time, each of these, the owners are different. So each owner, they are maintaining their own device. They have their own process, their own system. And when they need a digital certificate for their set of devices, they choose their own certificate authority, go to that certificate authority, acquire a certificate, install on the device. Either they do it completely manually, or they put some automation in place, but each of them are separate. There is no central place where everything is being managed. Let's take another scenario, that is an IoT kind of enterprise. So there's a manufacturing line where the devices are being produced. Each device needs to have an identity, a digital certificate. Manufacturing line has integration with some CA, procure the certificate, and installs it. Again, because it's a separate owner, separate process, that's what's happening. There are devices that are deployed, and for communication, they are being managed by the device managers, or EMM platforms or MDM platforms. So MDMs are talking to some other certificate authority, getting certificates, and provisioning it on the devices. Or there are more sophisticated devices. Those devices are procuring their certificates, enrolling their certificates automatically, directly able to connect to CAs. But again, because manager of each device is separate, owner of each device is separate, the whole process is fragmented and disparate. One more scenario we see from the security standpoint. So again, this is kind of IoT scenario where secure boot is also enabled. So manufacturing line not just put the certificate, but also the code, the firmware, so that boot is secure. That's a good thing. But at the same time, the certificate authorities, the identities that are being used for communication, for code signing, are all different. So that brings the fragmentation in the system. Now let's see how it should be managed. And before how, we need to see what is a good machine identity management system. So we will talk about the elements that make a comprehensive and next-gen machine identity platform. First thing, the face of it. The services that are provided by the system, by this platform. The smart discovery. So certificates are distributed, as we have seen. There are different types of devices. All certificates should be discovered, and there should be central visibility, central inventory about how those certificates are, when their expiries, what security practices are being followed, etc. Then certificate lifecycle management. So you know about certificate, that's good. But if you are not able to manage them, if you are not able to upgrade, renew on time, and not just renew, but also deploy, provision onto the right device, right application on time, then the whole thing is useless. Think of a scenario that, okay, you have a renewed certificate, but you don't know where that certificate to be provisioned, at all, what all places the certificate to be provisioned. Then the renewal has no meaning. So that's why the certificate lifecycle management is also important. Then if we enter into the IoT scenario, again, the entire life cycle that we have talked about, secure boot and the connection with MDM, etc., all these things should be provided by the platform. Then another area is SSH, that is secure shell, that is being used a lot in enterprise connectivity. Traditionally, either SSH is being used via username and password, or at the most via the key, and that key is typically a perpetual key. Once key is generated, given to a person, the person keeps it, whether it's in the organization, outside organization, the key works. And that brings a lot of security problems. So the certificate should be able to provide a mechanism so that the authentication of a user to a machine using SSH, it should be connected to their user profile. Whether user belongs to a particular group, then he has access to a group of machines. The user moves to another group, then he or she has access to a different set of devices, a different set of servers. The person leaves the organization, automatically the access is revoked. And it should not happen that, okay, oh, somebody is going into each and every machine, changing the keys, etc., and then everybody else has to get a different key. That should not happen. All these things have to be automated. Next is the code signing. Especially when the code is installed on a device or a software is given outside, a device is given outside, they are not in control of the owners of it. Users are somebody else. Say, for example, if you take OT devices, there are smart meters installed at home, or there are street lights installed on the street. And whatever software is running there, and that software is being controlled, the device is being controlled from a central station, it is very important that the code that is running on the device is signed, so that whenever the device starts, it can establish that it is the genuine code. Nobody has tempered the code when the device was down. Where it's a publicly accessible place, the pole or a meter that is somewhere outside, anybody can go ahead and temper that. So the temper detection is very, very important in that case, and that is achieved via code signing. So for code signing also, the certificate, etc., are used, the public key infrastructure used, and the same machine identity platform should be able to support that as well. In all these scenarios, we need digital certificates, and for that we need public key infrastructure. Then who will provide that? If the platform is doing everything, but it is not helping us to procure the certificate, or we need to manage the whole infrastructure, it becomes a problem. It is incomplete. So to be comprehensive, the PKI as a service is also an important aspect. So in a nutshell, whatever requires the digital certificates or public key infrastructure, everything should be supported by the platform to be a comprehensive platform. But all this is just the face of it. All these things can be enabled on the basis of a strong foundation, and the foundation is Automation India. And when it comes to automation, there are multiple things. First is the integration, and integration with the places from where certificates are coming and certificates are being used. So as we discussed earlier, there are network devices or applications where certificates are provisioned. So now all these network devices applications can be provisioned on-prem in the data center environment, or they can be provisioned in a cloud environment or a containerized environment. So the platform should have integration with cloud services and container services as well. For the IoT scenario, the device managers, and of course the certificate authorities for providing the PKI as a service portion. Other than that, the integration should happen with the HSM devices or key management services as well for the security purpose. And then after this comes the, so with this, all the automation is in place. But when automation is in place, it should not happen that anybody comes in and utilizes this automation without having the authority. So for that, it comes the single sign-on, another type of integration with the authentication and authorization servers for the single sign-on and rollback access. So now the person has rollback access. So he can do this work only for which he or she is authorized. But it has to be simple for the person as well. It should not be very much complicated. Like, okay, I log in and then I need to go through 10 different screens to figure out a simple thing. No, that doesn't work. So the simplicity comes from the workflows and the specific landing pages. So landing pages are the place where a person, when logs in, he or she just looks at only the items that they are supposed to see. So for example, if I am allowed only to renew my certificates, there is no point I can see all the administrative policies. So I land on a page where I have only the information that is required to renew my certificate, nothing else. Then the whole thing becomes simple. And again, the landing page is just the front. The real thing is on the back, the workflow. So when I punch in my certificate information, from there, it is triggered, it goes into a system, then somebody approves it, then it goes to a CA, then CA gives the certificate, then the whole thing comes back to me. That is the entire workflow that is to be there on the back of the landing page. So the platform not just support the built-in workflows, but it should also provide a workflow builder so that the enterprises can build custom workflows as per their processes. Rather than when you bring a platform, it should not happen that, oh, you need to change your processes because the platform doesn't support it. So platform should be moldable as per the processes of the enterprises. So this consists the functional part, and all these functionalities has to run on some infrastructure, and that infrastructure that has to be scalable and secure. So from the scalability and availability, Kubernetes, the containers are the modern things. Docker and Kubernetes are de facto standards that gives its scalability, availability, etc. And then hardened Linux operating platform. And then platform agnostic or environment agnostic scenarios. So you take the entire software, put it on physical machine, virtual machine, in your private cloud, data center environment, or in a public cloud. Additionally, the whole thing should be available as a service as well, so that enterprises need not worry about all the installation, upgrade, and any other logistics. It is available as a service. They just go there, create their account, and start using it. After we understand this how the platform should look like, what all it should support, let's see how the platform changes the scenarios. The same scenarios that we have seen earlier. After introducing such a platform, let's see how it happens. Again, first scenario, there are same type of devices, load balancers, firewalls, servers, applications, and they may have different owners, but their certificate enrollment is happening from a single place, from the single machine identity platform. Now, at this platform, the policy engine controls and like what type of device it is and what kind of certificate needs to be issued to that. And on the back, this policy engine controls whether the certificate comes from the single CA or multiple CAs. A single CA is shown here, but it can come from multiple CAs, but based on the policy. And that policy is governed by the central team, and it is according to the compliance requirements and also according to the business requirements. So similarly, if we go back to the IoT scenarios, again, there are same things. There are manufacturing line, there are intelligent devices doing their own auto enrollment. There are MDMs doing auto enrollment, but rather than going to their own CAs, they are going to the machine identity platform, and again, the policy engine deciding like what type of certificates are required based on expiry, security, whatever, and everything can be controlled from a single place with very good visibility analytics rather than having the fragmenting system. Third scenario also, same thing. The secure boot and the communication is happening with the appropriate certificates rather than fragmented random certificates. So in a nutshell, what we have seen, that if we have a comprehensive and next-gen machine identity platform that is scalable, independent, agnostic to the environment, etc., it is much simpler to manage. It's a much better visibility. Teams can focus on productive things rather than just focusing on the logistics. Because things are automated, unplanned outages will not happen. Because there are central policy enforcement, security issues, data breaches will not happen. So overall, because of this, the security will be deployed for the security purpose. Otherwise, what happens? When security products are not simple to use, when they introduce a lot of hindrance, a lot of problems for the users, they need to use security products. Such kind of security products are just deployed only for the check mark, the compliance. Yes, we have the security product. But how much security it really provides, that doesn't happen. And data breaches still happen. If we bring simplicity, if our platform brings the simplicity into the operations, makes the system agile, then it will be adopted for security itself, not just for the compliance check mark. Thanks a lot for listening. Thank you for joining the session. If you have questions later as well, you have my handles, you can reach out.